Ready when you are, CB. Do I start in Canada or Mexico?
It's me and the animal kingdom.
You really AKA this?
It's Theme Park Thursday Live with Dillos Diz. Featuring Frank. And Jen.
This is Theme Park Thursday live on our YouTube channel. It's a Thursday evening. It's March the 20th. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank. And for the next 30 minutes, we have 3 topics or subjects that we have not discussed on the Theme Park Thursday podcast, mostly because we've been pre-recording most of our podcasts weeks in advance.
Yes. We're so professional.
Scheduling.
Yeah.
That's so good. But we will talk about those 3 subjects or topics here and be done in 30 minutes. Why? Because at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we will be going over to DillosDizResort.com. That is our Patreon, with memberships beginning as low as $1 per month, DillosDizResort.com. And we'll be recording next week's podcast, which is a little bit of a chat episode about the 24 hours that Jen spent in Orlando, Florida last weekend, and the 24 hours I spent in Orlando, Florida last weekend. They overlap slightly. Welcome to New York City, everybody.
New York City honking. Hey, forget about it.
Hey. So that is what's on the agenda. And mostly we're recording that trip report because it happened so fast and much exhaustion followed afterwards that we're not going to remember what happened.
It helps us to process it all.
It was a lot. We'll just put it that way. It was a lot. We did a lot in 24 hours. We each did our own thing in 24 hours. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dr. Val's pointing out my Disneyland merch.
Yeah. Fancy.
I will say I was also wearing this last night because I was a guest on another podcast. I'll talk about that programming note at the end of these 30 minutes. And I was also wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
Just I'm going to wear it forever.
Forever?
Well, we'll get to that. Well, maybe that'll be a little bit on that podcast episode next week. Jen?
Yes?
Is there anything I need to add before I go into the 3 topics or subjects? It's been a while since we've done one of these.
I know. We haven't been live in a while. And I think the last time we were live, people were like, I miss this. You have to do this more. And then we haven't. And here we are again. Some people not believing that we'll stick to the 30 minutes.
Because here's the thing. The other thing that's happened recently is when we dip past the 10 o'clock hour, the quality of our alertness,
our words,
our ability to speak properly. It takes.
What is this, 2021, Jen and Frank? No, we can't do 10 o'clock anymore.
No. Now, if there's dueling pianos while then we're awake and we're alive and we can go until 1 a.m.
Oh, let's stay.
But I digress here. See, and this is why we can't get to minutes. We have 25 minutes remaining. So here we go. 3 topics or subjects that we did not discuss on the podcast. Still good, like I said, pre-recorded. Topic numero uno: Disney Visa, Disney dining. There's a capital I there in that second one. I don't I don't know what that means.
It's me.
That's what happens when you put in the topics or subjects 30 seconds before you go live.
Two capital I. Disney and dining. You
Oh,
got the
yeah.
two.
Maybe I meant to do it.
You
I
should
don't
have done it
know.
on the first two, and it could have just been a thing, and you didn't even
It-
realize.
Maybe whatever. This was announced this morning because Disney knew it was Theme Park Thursday. Disney
Mhm.
also knowing I haven't been using my Disney Visa as much as I used to, but they introduced this whole new free Disney dining situation with the Disney Visa. Jen immediately annoyed this morning, still annoyed right now. So that's topic number one.
Yeah.
Topic number two, Remember Me again. So Coco, the sequel to Coco was announced this afternoon, maybe into the early evening, scheduled for 2029, maybe. I think in terms of we'll talk a little bit about this in terms of theme park terms too, because right around that time, right before the podcast launched, Theme Park Thursday with Dillos Diz, that's us. Coco is along those lines of why is there not more into theme parks? Topic number three. Oh lordy. Well, March Madness has started today.
March 20th. So
the upsets are already happening in NCAA basketball. Hashtag Dillos Madness, usually a thing each year, although the 2023 and 2024 variations, kind of a mess. But that doesn't stop us from trying again. So we'll talk a little bit about what's in store for hashtag Dillos Madness, aka the Dillos. This is my favorite thing about Disney ever this year, March Madness Mania.
Porn.
So that's coming up here in these 30 minutes.
All right,
Disney
everyone.
Visa, Disney Dining. Remember Me again. Hashtag Dillos Madness.
Place your bets. Place your bets. When did Dillos Madness ever care about what month it was? Good point, Lewis.
I mean,
Good point. We don't have the horn on the video on the thing on the
we
thing,
don't have
right?
to. We should, do we need like a Mr. Snidillo soundbite horn video thing?
Probably. I feel like we've had one in here and there over the years. The last 2 years, a lot of things got lost with Dillos Madness. So.
Dillos Madness, people are always like, "Oh, you guys do so much." Well, have you paid attention to Dillos Madness? That's when the cracks start showing.
3-1-2, 3-2-1, 1-2-3. No, we're not going to retire the horn, Lewis. How dare you? Lewis, you might have to be a tiebreaker. Troy, I think you might be in here too. We have a 3-1-2, a 3-2-1, and a 1-2-3. That doesn't help us, anyone. So let's see. We'll give it a couple more seconds for the old YouTube delay. I mean, if you want to hear Jen rant, you're gonna want to pick a certain one for 1-3-2. But that's also slightly different. So we have 2 votes. 2-1-3.
So I guess 3 is first, right?
Well, no, I mean, 2 votes for 3 being first, 2 votes for 1 being first, or you go with Dr. Troy and go off the rails with 2-1-3.
I mean, I think we got to do the actual news of the theme park morning first. The Disney, I'm going to share the screen. I don't know if this is correct, but Jen, you can probably tell me if this is right when I pull it up. So today, Disney announced that they are putting together a collab of connecting the Disney Visa to and Disney Visa card members to the free dining plan at Walt Disney World. And is this correct, Jen? Please.
I think so. I also saw it on a Disney food blog where I was doing more of the deep dive, but yeah, that looks about right.
To get early access to a deal with a free dining plan, offer details, valid travel dates, June 29 through September 30. These dates look right, Jen. October 20 through November 1st.
Made me laugh because June 29th to September 30th, the entire summer. Once again, how the summer has become the slow season in Disney is just, it continues to be mind-boggling.
I can't get it is. It's just and usually we went in late August there in the early 90s. So most of the country goes back to school by then. But when I was working there in the summer, my God, it was crazy town.
Always.
And yeah, to know that that's what they go through first here. October 20 through November 1st, December 6th to December 22nd, which that's an interesting one to me. The requirements: 4-day theme park ticket with a park hopper option required. Minimum 4-night length of stay required. Package includes the room, the theme park tickets with the park hopper option, a dining plan, a reservation at Savvy's. Make sure that you're doing all the just that's not included, but you might as well be. Buy all the things. So here's the thing. This year, I don't want to say how it came into conversation, but I pulled back on my Disney Visa card usage in favor of other
Points.
cards with better point systems. And the points that I gathered over the years served me just fine. But when you compare to other options, like Jen's 24-hour trip,
thanks, points.
all because of points accumulated. That is not from a Disney Visa.
Right.
So I think that's the first part. I enjoy my Darth Vader meet and greet at Hollywood Studios. I didn't get to do it this time. But the those little perks, the Epcot character meet and greet. I will say that with the 10% off or whatever it is, Disneyland, and I haven't really discussed this yet. It was like a hit and miss situation too. There was no consistency with why a Disney Visa was good somewhere in some places and not in other places. I didn't line up for me. And so that also contributes to this. But Jen and I never done a dining plan, right? You've never done a dining plan.
No, I feel like anytime we talk about the dining plan, it's the same as when we talk about DBC, where we're like, someone explain this to us because we don't get it. But I did a deep dive and all I did was get annoyed. So
let's speak to your annoyance here because it's 8:43 already. We got 17 minutes.
Well, plenty of time. For 2 more topics, there's plenty of time. So, I mean, first of all, needing a 4-day park hopper, that's a lot. That is a lot of money right there. Okay, and then it said that if you if you're in a value or moderate resort, you get the quick service dining plan. If you're in a deluxe resort, you get the standard dining plan. So I just went through, I'll go through real quick of what the standard dining plan is, which is 1 table service entree, dessert, lunch and dinner only, or a full buffet. 1 quick service meal, including entree or combo meal. 1 snack / non-alcoholic drink, and 1 resort refillable drink mug per person per package. Please, someone tell me if I'm wrong. Don't I still need to pay for a meal with this? I still need to pay for I'm either using quick service to do breakfast and then either paying my own way for lunch or doing a table service for lunch and then having to pay for I feel like I'm still paying for a meal with this. But if I'm wrong, I'm more than happy to admit that. And then the quick service, where's the quick service? 1 table, is this the other? Oh no, this is still for the standard. 1 table service meal credit may be used for several character dining experiences, except at, the big character dining experience locations. And there's ways to like maneuver the credits around and what have you. But to me, I'm like, I don't, is this worth it? That I have to pay a 4-day park hopper at minimum, because of course you can stay longer. And then I'm still having to pay for a meal. And then everything gets tricky if you start moving things around. I don't know. And that's if you're staying at the deluxe resort, which in fairness, if you're staying at the deluxe resorts, at those prices, first of all, if I'm getting a dining plan, then I want all my meals paid for. But if I'm not, also, I've paid a lot of money to the resort. So perhaps the people But that's a way of thinking that Disney doesn't do of what I'm thinking in my head that I'm not saying out loud. Okay. So Lewis is saying the quick is pretty good. Actually, no tips on your purchases. So then you do a couple of regular ones. Breakfast is a terrible use for
Correct.
it.
Yeah, because most people grab it and going. I mean,
Right. But then if you do like a character breakfast, a lot of the character dining experiences center around breakfast usually, right?
yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes.
No, because we're planning our meetup for November, that second weekend of, is it technically the second weekend of November? Yeah, because November it starts on a weekend.
Mhm.
No, it's not included, Jeffers. Also. But
True.
also, I will say, since I did join AARP because I'm 50.
Yeah, because first of all, someone in this chat, if you want to say who you are, feel free. There's a person in this chat who tipped me off to that, and I said, "What?" And then I joined, and then I said, "Hey, you guys, that was what you guys were here that weekend." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, you guys, make sure you sign up for this too."
But I will say, because it's a 3-day situation,
Mhm.
if we're going on this meetup and I
Oh,
can
yeah.
get a discount on a 3-day
Oh,
ticket, then there might
1,000%.
be a daytime park thing happening with the parties at night.
Sure. Of course, obviously.
Was there ever any doubt?
So Lewis is saying it is only worth it if you are a larger family. And that is, so me and Mr. Snidillo were doing a whole deep dive and thinking it through and talking it out. And that's exactly what I said, that like, okay, maybe if you are a large family, have a bunch of kids, maybe also if your kids aren't going to like do many of the table service places and you want to only do quick serve or something like that, I do see how that could make sense, especially if you're there for a long period of time. But like, initially when I heard like, oh, Disney Visa and do it, like, that's interesting. Let me just look into it. And I was like, no, I don't want any. I don't like it at all. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Jeffers, you have to renew your annual pass,
You
obviously.
must.
Come on.
I mean, you don't have to renew it for like September and October. You can just like start again in November.
But do you get extra months still? Do they still offer that? Remember when they used to be like, oh, if you renew, you get 15 months or like something. I don't know.
I can't get an annual pass. I don't think I can do it. I can do it. Anyway, well, long story short,
it makes sense with Disney math.
For me, I'm not getting a Disney dining plan ever. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
But this doesn't incentivize me at all. And don't go halfway. Actually make it worth. You want to tell me to buy a 4-day park hopper? Yeah, then you got to cover me.
Yeah.
Cover me the other way. You want me to cover the parks a certain way? You cover my meals a different way.
Right. I mean, if you're doing it, then go all in.
You help me, I help you.
You hear me, Disney?
I'm not afraid anymore.
We'll just pay full price next time anyway. All right,
I'm doing 1, 2, 3 today. We're just going.
Oh, okay. All right.
Coco was announced by Pixar today to have a sequel, Coco 2, 2029. They got the guy who directed the first one coming back for the second one. I just want to talk about it in the sense of why does Disney have because everyone has this IP conversation. Our friend Amy Radcliffe, whose novel comes out this coming Tuesday, March 25th, Thrill Rides, has a whole IP discussion in that book. You have the Coco IP. Everyone, it was so wildly popular. People were like, they're gonna change Mexico into Coco. People were demolish the Odyssey building and make it a Coco experience. All these things were being discussed back then. We got Coco and PhilharMagic. We got Miguel in PhilharMagic. Like I shouldn't say, but we got the Coco IP in PhilharMagic, which I got to see in Disneyland while staring at the walls that used to be Muppet Vision. That's fine. And then you get the meeting, you get the character meet and greet, you got some things here and there. Why in all this time have we not worked on a stronger theme park presence for Coco? And you got that sequel. How long you been talking about this? Why aren't you doing those things in parallel? Why aren't we talking about Coco in Animal Kingdom when you got all the cool looking dogs and whatever? I'm not going to remember any part of that movie in the proper terminology right now, but there was a strong animal presence in Coco. Why not have that be part of it? I don't get that at all. So just like Moana being #1 on Disney Plus for the entirety that Disney Plus has been around, and we're we're still waiting. And we got Journey of Water, but we want the bigger stuff for Moana. You know, that is where it gets me, because probably from that time that we went with the 9-year-old when she turned 1, which was maybe right after Coco debuted, that there was this buzz about the movie that is not reflected in the parks, not reciprocated, the amount of buzz versus what's actually there. And that's frustrating me. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and it's still kind of disjointed because you throw it in at the entrance to the Mexico Pavilion. You're like, here it is in these windows.
Yeah.
And like, that's it. I don't know. I love Coco. We the kids went through a very big Coco phase here a few years ago. We were all in on it. I think it's a beautiful movie. I also feel like it is a complete movie. And like so many other Pixar or Disney movies, is there a need for another one? I love Coco. I love it. I love the music. I love the artistry behind it. But do we need another one? I don't think we do. And like at some point, what we do need is something new, something fresh, something, just switch it up a little bit. But to your point, now that you have made this announcement and that there are 2 parks where a Coco presence can make sense as you lead up to the movie, if we have this much time into the movie, then yeah, maybe you do something and you push it a little bit to try to rev up the excitement, because Moana 2 didn't do it. It did not bring in the people. People are not talking about Moana 2 like they did about the first Moana. It left people not feeling great at the end overall. And again, it's one of those movies that, sure, it was nice to see the characters, but did we need the second Moana in that way? No, we didn't.
No, and it was poor planning, and that's the part I don't get. Like, when they're always going to be a Disney Plus series first, why? It was huge. Why? And it's, and we said the same thing 25 years ago about Toy Story 2. Why is it going straight to video? What are you doing? And they changed course for the better, and they keep repeating those. They make these weird business choices that I don't quite understand. So I mean, clearly they're skittish about any of their new material. Pixar is, for whatever reason. So they want to go back to the sequels, which I get, but and Elemental did really well, built strong, but it has to come strong out of the gate with these Pixar movies, or it's not the same. And it's interesting.
Theme Park Rob saying Grand Fiesta Tour I almost went Long Island on that one. Tour should have been updated to Coco. I don't love change, and I would have been sad about it, but also it would have made sense. I can see that in that ride, so that makes sense. Oh, well, I stand corrected then, Lewis. Stand corrected.
I mean, I think people are still going to watch the characters, regardless, especially kids. Moana. It's Moana. Just watch both Moanas. The movie. Not that there was anything terribly wrong with the music of the second movie, especially listening to it separate from watching the movie.
Yeah.
Not the same as the first movie. And that's where it struggled.
Yeah, for sure.
We have 6 minutes left and one easy peasy topic to do here.
No problem.
Hashtag Dillos Madness returning this month, in the month of March.
Allegedly.
On March 31st, we will be at DillosDizResorts.com. That is our Patreon, with memberships beginning as low as $1 per month. DillosDizResort.com for the Dillos Diz My Favorite Thing About Disney Ever this year, March Madness Mania. So this year, it's a one-night only event. One night, not 6 months, not... It stops after the second round and we never get back to it again. See also 2023. It is one night only. It is me pitting right as of right now, as I've sketched out a draft of the brackets,
Mm-hmm.
8 attractions that you can find in both Disneyland and Walt Disney World, pitting them against each other in a Sweet 16 format
Mm-hmm.
and having them advance that way. Jen will defend vehemently for me to pick Walt Disney World attractions,
Mm-hmm.
while I struggle to debate and see what my actual response will be. So this is the hashtag Blame Frank
Mm-hmm.
edition of the Dillos is my favorite thing about Disney ever this year. March Madness Mania Poo. So more to follow.
Do you think we need podiums? Like, does this need to be a full-on debate I don't know. This desk is a standing desk. I could do that, but so that's something.
Mrs. Dillo's desk is a standing desk.
Perhaps we need to stand and properly debate this topic.
I am Sam Eagle. I don't know why I got a Sam Eagle reference for me debating the whole time, but
that's the presence you would take on.
So yeah, right now, as I sketched out the brackets, I got 8 attractions, and then I have like 4 like warm-up teaser matchups that aren't part of the bigger bracket because I couldn't get to a larger pool. Yeah. But so whether we're talking about Trader Sam's, whether we're talking about Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Pirates, Haunted Mansion, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Galaxy's Edge. I don't think I put that on there yet, but I might.
I think I'm gonna have to do some research to properly come with my arguments and be really prepared, because I can't just I can't be like, but nostalgia, and just leave it at that. And so I'll have to come more prepared.
You'd be like, but Thunder Mountain at night when it's purple.
Exactly.
That's not in the right now. I'm still playing around with how the brackets will be, but they'll definitely will be. And no spoilers. But a Speedway versus Autopia matchup.
I've already, I'll save it. I'm going to save it. I'm saving it. So we are not discussing them here. So we will wait for the actual debate when we come with our note cards and our PowerPoint presentations. Can I just go back for a moment? Lewis had made a comment making more movies that fits nicely as rides. So are you suggesting they should start making more movies that fit nicely as rides? No, because I have a very hard time with the IP discussions often taking over attractions that have no IPs currently, and how much IP to do and all the things, because I appreciate the theming of the parks in the way that they are, that aren't necessarily like Mickey Mouse. I don't know. Like the fact that World Showcase was just based on these countries and there wasn't a Disney presence. It just happened to be in Disney. I appreciate those things. So it's been hard to accept some of the IPs into, but I eventually I come around to it, but I'm just saying.
No, I mean, I come around to it too. And I think, again, business decisions are interesting. To this day, when I first saw Frozen, I was like, that's going to be on Broadway. I mean, that was a clear, this is the purpose. Is that they want this to move to Broadway. And they did. And then speaking of we're heading over to DillosDisResort.com right now to record the March 27th episode of the Theme Park Thursday podcast. Jen and I will be discussing our 24 hours in Orlando last weekend, and a programming note. I will be a guest on the Adventures and Mousecapades podcast on Monday, March 24th, talking about Disneyland. Nathan and Alicia invited me on since it was my first time over on the West Coast, and I had a good time talking to them earlier this week. So make sure you check that out in their podcast feed. I just want to make sure I have all of that right. Adventures and Mousecapades. That is at ourmousecapades.com for their website. But we'll wrap it up here. Don't forget Dillos Madness, hashtag Dillos Madness over at DillosDisResort.com on March 31st. Disneyland versus Walt Disney World attractions. Hashtag blame Frank. We'll see you over at DillosDisResort.com in mere moments. Until next time, thanks for watching us here on our YouTube channel. Bye-bye.
Deuces.